All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Comics and More podcast. This is week 3 of the new DC Universe 52. I'm Dave Ferraro from Comics and More.
And I'm Patrick Markfort from Articulate Nerd. Last week, the DC comic books that we selected kind of had an accidental theme. We had a lot of supernatural kind of horror-tinged books. This week, we seem to have picked titles with another kind of accidental theme. We're looking at a lot of books with female leads this week, although notably not so much female creative teams. In any case, the books we're going to be looking at this week include Birds of Prey #1, Catwoman #1, DC Universe Presents #1. That features Deadman as our lone male protagonist this week. We're also going to be taking a look at the all-new Wonder Woman #1. So let's get right to it with our review of Birds of Prey #1. So here is the cover to that lovely book. And this is by the writer Duane Swierczynski and Jesus Saiz. Okay, so the Birds of Prey are another team. It's another kind of group book. This time it is a group of women, female characters, all beautiful, and all of whom operate on or around Gotham City, kind of in the Batman family corner of the DC Universe. So in this incarnation of Birds of Prey, we have Mockingbird as kind of the leader trying to assemble a new group.
Oh,
Did I get her
Black
name
Canary.
right? Black Canary. God, I knew it. I was like thinking in my head. Okay. Fail. Sorry.
Nice try.
Okay. Wow.
There's a lot of bird names with girls.
That's a bad
She's
way to
a blonde,
start.
Mockingbird's a blonde, but you got the wrong company.
Fail. Just jump right in if I say the wrong name. I was really concerned with remembering Starling's name. I'm like, Starling. It's Starling. I knew it was a bird, but I couldn't remember, and then I completely forgot Black Canary. I'm sorry, Black Canary fans.
Yeah, how could you forget Black Canary?
Well, she looks like Mockingbird. Okay. I'm blushing a little bit. Black Canary is the leader. Mockingbird's not in this comic. She's a Marvel character. All right, let's get back on track. So, Black Canary is kind of the leader of this group. She's assembling kind of a new incarnation of the Birds of Prey team. So she brings this character called Starling aboard. So she is on the team. And we can tell by the cover that this book is also going to include Poison Ivy and Katana. They don't appear in this first issue, though. Probably you were disappointed with no Poison Ivy.
I was disappointed with no Poison Ivy.
So
but
it's definitely the first part of the origins of Birds of Prey, as we've seen in a lot of these books. The first story will be told over the first several issues. So yeah, this book kind of goes back and forth in time, looking at Black Canary's efforts to assemble this team, and then it takes a look at an adventure that she and Starling are involved in, wherein some mysterious enemy has kind of set this investigative reporter, on the trail of the Birds of Prey, who kind of operate secretly, primarily, I think, because I keep wanting to call her Mockingbird. Black Canary is apparently wanted for murder right now, so she's kind of an outlaw, but she's still trying to assemble this team. This reporter is trying to figure out who they are and what's going on, and he has kind of been set on this path by this mysterious group of enemies who ends up attacking and ambushing them. So we don't know who the big bad is behind this, but that's kind of what this first issue is about. Not a lot of story here. It's pretty sparsely written. It was a pretty quick read, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid first issue of a comic book. Jesus Saiz's art is pretty nice. He draws really great, beautiful-looking women in action, which seems obviously super appropriate for this title. It had kind of a fun kind of tone to it. And yeah, it didn't really break any new ground, but it was solidly constructed, not offensive. Like, some of the books we'll be talking about this week, and I enjoyed it. I like Birds of Prey #1.
I really enjoyed it too. I've read other incarnations of Birds of Prey. I don't think you really have.
No.
I really enjoyed Chuck Dixon's original run on the series. I thought that was just pretty solid for what was collected in trades, which hasn't been too much, unfortunately. Yeah, Gail Simone's I was kind of like lukewarm with, actually. I did follow it for a little while, but I just ended up getting kind of bored with it and just dropping it altogether. This new incarnation, it seems like a lot of fun. I like that they're actually... It's almost like a group of villains. You know what I mean? Like, Black Canary's an outlaw.
Right.
You know, Starling's kind of like, you know, this troublemaker character, and I think Katana's a bad guy too, and then Poison Ivy's obviously a villain in Gotham City. So they're kind of like, you know, they have to kind of fly under the radar because they're, you know, wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna be an interesting dynamic once these other characters are introduced into it.
And it seems like it already is a good just between
just the two,
Black Canary and Starling.
Yeah.
It's obviously Poison Ivy will add a lot to that mix.
Yeah. I'm a huge Poison Ivy fan, so I'm really looking forward to Poison Ivy being in this book.
Well, that's probably why you picked this one up, right?
Well, I mean, I liked, you know, I kind of like the idea of Birds of Prey a lot, and I really like that original Chuck Dixon run. So I'm like, I gotta keep trying the Birds of Prey books that, you know, as they come out with new creative teams. So
yeah, the Birds of Prey concept has been going for quite some time in one incarnation or another, which, you know, it doesn't strike me as a kind of concept that would have real legs, but it's been around to pretty high critical acclaim for most of its existence. It was even a short-lived TV show.
Very short-lived.
Very short-lived.
Yeah, I did like the appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl in it.
Barbara Gordon makes a guest appearance in her civilian identity.
Just a little, you know, fan service, you know, for the people who are missing Oracle.
Yep.
Which is, I think, the nicest, you know, concept behind a Birds of Prey. The most interesting thing is that Barbara Gordon was a superhero, and then she's kind of like, you know, pretty much, you know, having these people fight for her and instructing them. And this is just kind of like it's more of a traditional team title now than it was before. But I kind of like it this way. I mean, I do like Oracle, but, you know, I like this dynamic, and I think it's just a solid team.
And Barbara Gordon was better drawn here than she was in her own comic book.
Yeah, she was. I will admit that. I did like Batgirl, but yes, the art is definitely much better in this title.
Yeah, so good book.
But yeah, lots of great action. I like the mystery that's going on with it. And I'm interested to see where it goes next.
Yeah, me too.